Animal lover, and he rides in on his Suzuki GSXR 600 and he gives a speech on graphene, the thinnest material ever. Bitte auf der Bühne, Kishan Totka.
Good evening, and thanks for the organizers for giving me this opportunity. So I am Kishan Thorkar Raviranathra Sundar Mahesh Tirunanthapuram. If you're wondering where I am here, so that's me, that's my dad, and that's my ancestors, etc. And so the title of my topic is basically, can really small things deliver? Graphene can. If you're wondering what's this all about, let's just find out. So, a common bias. You might think that this little kid would lose, but what if it's a junior Jackie Chan and you could go from this side or the other side, go from here to there, you know, and you could also attack him there. You never know. So, you remember the story of David and Goliath? Well, in certain cases, being small works really much better. Let's see why. The story, for instance, the present day's computing or communication, the modern day healthcare, it all looks like so fancy. But this wasn't the case in the past. But let's ask all the time, why, and why, right? Because the past was different. Long time ago, for instance, the first computer or first telephone looked like this. For instance, the ENIAC was nothing but a huge calculator, and there were nearly 5 million hand-soldered joints in it. I mean, ENIAC was so big that you could fit in 2 to 3 full-grown Indian elephants in there. So, well, don't get me wrong, these were extraordinary feats, but they had, I mean, they were huge and they were kind of expensive. But, so what's the present days now? So we went from having such a huge computer to a little laptop. So if you open it up, you'll see something like this if you break. And then if you open that up, you could see that your microchip looks like this, something like as big as a 2 franc coin. And then if you look further close, you see several of these little transistors. And these transistors are made of silicium or silicon. And nearly 27% of the Earth's crust is made of silicium. So in short, the answer is miniaturization, or making things smaller and smaller has led to the technology which we enjoy today. But what's a transistor? Let's just think of a tap, right? So a tap can have 3 main conditions. If you don't touch it, it just looks like that. But if you touch it a little bit of the well, you get the water out. And then if you touch it even more, you get more water out. Don't get me wrong. But now if you have your silicon tap, instead of water, you have current flowing through in and out. Ta-da! That's your transistor. So what do you do with it? What's the real deal here? So let's use our silicon transistor, make a microchip out of it. For instance, the Intel this year had close to 5.5 billion transistors on one microchip. That's like 2 times India and China's population put together. That's a lot. So the issue is you can't make things much smaller and smaller. So would you ask, can you make it much smaller, much better? The answer is yes, but with new materials such as graphene, which is a single sheet of carbon, and if you roll it up, you get a joint, but you get a nanotube. Graphene is like just 0.4 nanometers. So what's a nanometer, you ask? A nanometer, let's say, if you take your hair and then compare with the DNA we have, which is close to a nanometer, then our DNA is 100,000 times smaller than the diameter of our human hair. So that's like super small. Okay, so what's so awesome about graphene, right? So first of all, it's just 2-dimensional. It's just having a length and a breadth. It's like the thinnest shit ever. So you can find graphene in graphite, and then you can, in order to create graphene, you can just use a Scotch tape and just peel it off, and then for which you get you get a Nobel Prize these days. And then the European Commission is also funding these projects. Graphene is 100,000 mark kleiner als 1 Frankenrodel. Thank you, God, for letting me say that. So graphene is like super thin, super wow. But even what's more awesome about graphene is that if you make now a tap of graphene or a transistor of graphene, and then if you compare silicon versus graphene, now the speed of the current flowing in from the left to the right is something like comparing Cinquecento versus Bugatti Veyron. Or me on a bicycle versus Rossi on his Yamaha. So graphene is like super fast. So what's even more awesome about graphene is that you can make so many fantastic applications out of it, such as flexible displays, transparent displays, even Google Glass enabled contact lenses. I wouldn't like to wear that. But anyways, you can make a sensor, and then even a crazy application, you can make a graphene condom out of it, because literally nothing can pass through graphene, if you know what I mean. So how do you mass produce graphene now? You just can grow your graphene on a metal sheet, and you can really get huge pieces of graphene if you're interested. I'm not a graphene dealer, but I have some. If you don't have So it's super cool. You might ask, graphene does this, graphene does that, but can it make me a sandwich? Okay, it doesn't make you a sandwich. The answer is no. The last time I asked my girlfriend, she left me. Okay, so in conclusion, of course you might argue that you might lose, but if you really compare a three-dimensional object versus a 2D object, graphene is even so small, you can do even more fantastic things with it. So in conclusion, even the smallest of the smallest things can deliver. Graphene can. I mean, I love graphene so much that I wrote this poetry, and I would like to dedicate this track as well as the prose to every one of you who are here. So let's see how it goes. C, 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 and 3 more C is all I see. All I see is tons of C. You say I see beyond you see, but do you believe in graphene C? Taking a world like first big trees. Breeze with these, time to please, time to please, time to rise beyond the skies, touching our life. D plus D is all you see. Nothing to see. Ease with breeze, time to flow, day and slow, flow and flow. Time to rise beyond the skies. Small in size, still first prize. So wide with no disguise. Now all I need is some hot curry burgers and fries, cause I'm hungry. Peace out. Thank you so much.